Okay, it actually can do this. Wow. Oh my gosh. Is it going to give you 4 days of training? Holy cow. Maybe strength coaches should be worried. Y'all, welcome back to another one of these reaction videos. This time we got much more specific with ChatGPT and artificial intelligence ability to do any programming. And this time we went with powerlifters. From what you heard in the intro, you should be kind of surprised at what happens, but I mean, you'll find out at the very end of it, my full thought on it, because it talks about chains and bands, and once it starts talking about that, it gets real dicey. But it does a pretty darn good job at doing some of the basics. So with that being said, go ahead and check out the rest of the video. If you like it, make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what other sports we should do, and hopefully we answer all these questions for y'all. All right, I'm going to do this, see how this does for a power lifter. So building off of what we talked about earlier, that ChatGPT is not going to take a strength and conditioning coach's job. So here we go. Let's warm this thing up. We're going to look at strength and conditioning coaches versus ChatGPT for, let's just do some layups. Let's go powerlifting and Olympic lifting. So I am a power lifter. What should I do for a meet prep? See what this says. As a powerlifter preparing for the meet, there are several keys to take. Meet your preparation, set your goals, determine your desired performance outcome. Sure, plan your cycle. Okay, focus on the 3 big lifts, progressive overload, gradually increase intensity and volume. Yeah, we know this. Work on weaknesses. If you struggle with the lockout, focus on close grip. Okay, there we go. All right. Coming out with something, fine-tune your technique, focus on maintaining proper form. Meet week, reduce the volume. Okay, not that bad. Game day. Remember, execute, stay focused. Good luck. All right, so power lifter, you should determine whether you want to try to set a PR. Yes. Develop a periodized training program. Consult with a qualified strength and conditioning room right there, folks. Consult with a qualified strength and conditioning coach if possible to create a program tailored to your specific needs. Right there. Boom. But it is nice that it has things like pause squats, board presses, deficit deadlifts. All right. Progressive overload stimulates strength. Progressive overload, work on weaknesses. Yup. Practice wearing your singlet. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not going to get you what you need. Okay, so within this, can you design my, what did it say here? It said, consult to create a possible program tailored to you. Can you design my lifting program for the power lifting meet? See what it says. I doubt it. There's no way it's going to. Certainly. Oh, here we go. Keep in mind, it's always best to work with a qualified coach or trainer, but here's a basic 12-week program. Wow. I mean, it gives you something. Does it give you anything? It gives you a squat day, a bench day, a deadlift day. Phase 2 for 4 weeks. Oh yeah. So again, there's no percentages. It did go and give you some unilateral work though. Like, it literally will give you something, right? And then you just write the weight in. Wow. Work up to heavy singles. This is crazy though, because people are literally going to do this. Like, people will probably use this. Yeah, copy. I mean, Holy cow. Let's see if it knows anything about Westside Barbell after it produces this. I mean, you're watching this in real time right now. So what are we saying here? We're working on off-season hypertrophy for 4 weeks, squats, I mean, so obviously there's no pairing of exercises. It doesn't talk about tempos. Again, it will give you something. It gives you a squat day, a bench day, a deadlift day. Hey, at the very least, it's not having you do, all upper body. Like, yeah, you're getting combination there. It has more weight being lifted in the subsequent phases. Pull-ups, 3 sets of max work up to heavy singles, 3 sets of 3 box jumps at the end. I mean, abdominal exercises sounds like it straight up is at a Westside. Let's ask it about Westside. Have you heard of Westside Barbell? If so, can you write this above program with a West Side philosophy? It didn't spell philosophy right. Let's see if it knows it off. Yes, I'm familiar with West Side Barbell. West Side program is known for dynamic and max effort. Wow. Here's an example you can structure the program using West Side. Sheesh. Okay, it actually can do this. Wow. Oh my gosh. Is it going to give you 4 days of training? Holy cow. Maybe strength coaches should be worried. Wow. Yeah, it's very speed squats and back to change. Yeah, I mean, this will be better than yeah, wow. You can get some pretty decent information off this for free because I mean, it's literally writing out there 4 days of training. Yeah, you've got to you still got to fill in the gaps on all these things, but that's pretty impressive. Off season, it didn't fill in it all. It did 8 weeks of it. It doesn't talk about band tension or any of that stuff, obviously, but it can give you something. Let's keep going down this rabbit hole and see if it can do anything with 531. Do you know the 531 power lifting program? Yes, I'm familiar with 531. Does it say Jim Wendler's? Oh, there we go. Over auto regulation. Here's an overview. Determine your max, reach for lifts. Yeah, wow. Oh my gosh, it even does that. Wow. Yeah, I mean, gone are the days of, I mean, not gone, but if you want to get all the full nuances of the book, you read the book. But I mean, this is going to give you something. Deload week. Wow. Distance work. Is it going to actually give you any existence work? Okay. Let's see. Can I use chains and bands with that 531 program you just wrote? Yes, you can occur chains, bands, set your training max. There we go. Now, this is where we can dive into it being a little jacked up. Progression assistance work. I mean, yeah, that's going to be wrong. Always prefer say. I mean, there's your disclaimer. Okay, so it says base program for 4 weeks. You'll add the chain. Week 1 in set 1, you're using chains. And then in set 2, all of a sudden you're taking the chains off. I mean, 75%. Again, if any person goes out there and just does this, you don't actually know how to follow any of the guidelines of how much chain to use, because if you're using 75% of your max and then you just throw chains and bands on and you don't know how much the chains and bands weigh, well, you could be having over 100% of your 1RM. So that can't happen. Without 90% times 3 or more reps with chains and bands, like, again, this is where it's dangerous. In week 2 right here, set 1 70% times 3 without chains, set 2 80% times 3 without chains and bands, set 3 90% times 3 or more reps with chains, parentheses bands. So you're telling me that in week 2 we're going two sets without chains, that we're going to automatically put on chains and heavier weight than before? Not going to happen. This week 3, I mean, it's just throwing now all of a sudden without chains, 40% without chains and bands. That's a heck of a, yeah. So I mean, it was all right. You got to watch me be pretty impressed by the fact that it did know who Louie was with Westside Barbell. I mean, I guess that was low hanging fruit, but I mean, it even says it here. Always have a strength and conditioning coach. I'm going to even type it in right here for everybody. Are you better than a strength and conditioning coach at giving exercise advice? Now, as an AI language model, I can provide general information. Can't even say yes and no. It's just being Switzerland. It's important to note that I cannot replace the expertise. There it is, right there. It is important to note I cannot replace the expertise of personalized guidance provided by a qualified strength and conditioning coach. What makes someone a qualified strength and conditioning coach? Education bachelor's degree, NSCA, American College. Huh. Oof. Precision nutrition. Come on now. Practical experience, professional development. Yeah, no. So again, there it is, folks. Like, in no way, shape, or form will ChatGPT replace a strength and conditioning coach preparing you for a powerlifting meet. It can, if you are just Joe Schmo off the street and you want to start learning the powerlift movements, and you want to do powerlifting, and you're Joe Schmo off the street, and you want to, get better at squat, bench, dead. Or if you want to get better at squat, bench, dead, and you're Joe or Jane Schmo off the street, and you want to get better at squat, bench, dead with a Westside barbell emphasis, you could do it. Even it says that it's got its own limitations compared to a strength coach, and we talked about that before with the chains and bands, but you could do it. Doesn't mean you should. Just like I could drive with my feet instead of with my hands, but it doesn't mean I should. We will do this again to see if it can prepare people for a track and field meet. That'll be the next one we do, right? Track and field. How can this work by preparing people to run fast straight ahead? Later.
Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. Why don't you celebrate by watching more videos just like it? You can also help us on our quest to placate the algorithm gods by liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you.